Hello and welcome to TechWatch, the EdTech video news program produced by eSchool News. I'm Laura Devaney. The Consortium for School Networking recently launched an initiative to promote the use of open source software and other open technologies in K-12 schools. In this TechWatch segment that originally aired in June, Jim Klein, Director of Information Services and Technology for the Saugus Union School District in California, discussed COSIN's K-12 Open Technologies Initiative and why he believes school leaders have nothing to fear from open source.
But first, here's an important announcement from Cable in the Classroom.
Where do new ideas in education begin? How is technology used to better equip young students? Who helps push our nation's future forward? Cable's Leaders in Learning Awards recognizes those implementing creative learning programs, from teachers and principals to community and national leaders. Winners will receive a trip to Washington, D.C. and will be honored at a spectacular gala event. To nominate yourself or someone you know, visit leadersinlearningawards.org.
The Consortium for School Networking recently launched an initiative to promote the use of open source software and other open technologies in K-12 schools. In this TechWatch segment that originally aired in June, Jim Klein, Director of Information Services and Technology for the Saugus Union School District in California, discussed COSIN's K-12 Open Technologies Initiative and why he believes school leaders have nothing to fear from open source.
The COSIN initiative for K-12 Open Technologies is essentially designed to be a resource for education technology leaders to inform them about the possibilities and the opportunities in the open source and open technologies world and what impact that they can have not only in the classroom but in the administrative environment. So it's designed essentially to be an information resource for CTO types who are looking to implement, as well as even some of the technology level people about what technologies are available and what they can do with them.
Why are open technologies significant for school leaders to at least understand and explore?
Well, today, with budgets being what they are, technology and technology's prevalence in the classroom, it becomes more and more difficult to keep up with not only current trends, but to provide the tools to give our students the opportunity to learn those 21st century skills that are so important these days. And open technologies provide an opportunity to access some of the technology that we might not otherwise access. Things such as social networking, blogging, and podcasting, key technologies that we consider commonplace today, were invented in the open source world. So obviously they're very available there, and they make nice resources for educators as well. They also give education an opportunity to explore new technologies they might not otherwise explore. For example, if you're worried about licensing costs and project costs and those sorts of things all the time, you suddenly find yourself limited. Well, I'd like to do this, but it costs me this, and I'd like to do that, but it costs me that. You don't have the opportunity to really try these things and see how they work before you engage in the process of evaluating a technology. So it provides a lot of opportunity for educators to really take advantage of technology and use it.
And what are some of the key challenges to using open technologies in a school environment?
Well, probably the number one challenge to open technologies is just education. Realistically, most people don't have a lot of experience with open technologies, especially in the school system. So, and that's part of the drive of the Open Technologies Initiative, is to educate educators about the possibilities there. Other difficulties are, where do I find support? How do I interact with the community and those sorts of things? And all of those things are learned skills, and we're trying to provide basically the resources and the direction that CTOs and technology leaders need to move in the open technologies direction.
What are some of the key questions that school leaders should consider as they're thinking about moving to adopting open technologies?
Well, the key questions, of course, would be, am I prepared to do that? There is a certain degree of training that's obviously required, and a fair amount of experimentation and those sorts of things. The key questions would be, where can I get training? How can I get my staff up to speed before I start working on this thing? Other than that, what are my support resources? Do I have resources like the K-12 Open Tech Project where I can get information on on solutions for my problems and interesting technologies to meet my needs. Those are the types of preparatory things that people would want to do. Also, you'd want to look at, your total cost of ownership and your typical things. Generally, when you're looking at open source projects, you'll find that total cost of ownership is almost a zero. You've got a little bit of training costs up front and those sorts of things, but ongoing costs kind of disappear. So cost suddenly becomes a non-factor, but you still do need to look at some of that, some of the initial training costs and the initial preparation costs and those sorts of things. So just like any other project, you have to consider it carefully. There are really two kinds of CTOs out there. Okay, there's a CTO that considers everything based solely on reliability. These are the people who go specifically for, I want the solution that's proven, that's been working forever, that I've got the one throat to choke, all of those sorts of things. But one thing that you'll note about CTOs that are key or are reliability oriented is that they're not the ones who are innovating. I would encourage CTOs out there to be concerned more with viability than reliability. Is this a viable solution? Will this be effective in the classroom? Will this be effective in the administrative tools? Will this help our district improve our district? Will it make more resources available for other things in our district? Those are the approaches to take. Is this viable versus is this reliable? I would suggest considering open technologies, is it a viable solution, and move forward from that.